Hello and welcome back to Nedbank Pitch Polish, where one great pitch could change everything and one misstep could send you home. 4 contestants, only 2 places left. Let's do this! It's hard to believe we're already here. The second half of the semi-finals. Over the past few weeks, we've seen ordinary entrepreneurs turn into confident, pitch-ready contenders. And now they're pitching for a place in the finale where the winner will walk away with a business boost worth 1 million rand. That includes funding, business mentorship, and an incubation program. But only 2 of our 4 semi-finalists will get a spot in the finals. Why? Because one place is already taken by our wild card contestant, who you'll catch a glimpse of later. Yep, tonight's gonna be a big one. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to appreciate the people who make all of this possible. Our title sponsor, Nedbank, program organizer, Race Corp, and venue partner, the Business Exchange. Thank you for being a champion for real entrepreneurs. Right, let's get to it. First up tonight, Cate from Akani Paints. Let's see how she does.
Hi, Cate.
Good day, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Good, good. Are you ready for your pitch?
Absolutely.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
According to the recent South African statistics, our second quarter that says we've got 45% of unemployment. And this is concerning as the owner and founder of Akani Paints. Good day, judges. My name is Cate, founder and CEO of Akani Paints. I'm the paint manufacturer of Eco-Friendly, and we're based in Limpopo. Currently, the business is having 2 branches in Zanini and Thohoyandou. What is unique about our products is the quality of our products, which we are SABS approved. Secondly, we are also a competitive pricing. What I can say about our product as well, or what we give into our community, it's also the training aspect of it, that we train our youth in terms of the application, in terms of chemical manufacturing. My ask for this 650,000 is to expand the business, create more job opportunities, specifically make sure that I create meaningful and sustainable jobs, especially in the rural communities. The specific ask for this 650, it will be based on the machine, which is going to be the chemical mixture of the tinting machine. Secondly, it will be our lab equipment. And finally, it will be the transportation. And regarding the transportation issue, with the only transport that we're currently having, the additional transport will be able to assist us to leverage on it. We are having a strain when it comes to doing our sales productively. And we'll also be able to, expand, be able to come here in Gauteng and buy our raw material. I thank you.
That was good timing. All right. Monique?
Perfect timing. You look nervous today.
Yes.
I hope that we don't make you more nervous. I'd like to zone in on the unemployment that you've been talking about.
Yes.
Yes, I believe that it is a critical issue that we have at the moment, and it's something that needs to be addressed. So I think what you're doing is really noble in that area. But I want to understand a lot of the funding that you have currently, or the grant funding, let's call it grant funding, for instance, that's coming in, is to meet those salaries of the youth. Mm-hmm. If that funding had to dry up, how would you survive?
We'll survive through the sales. With the funding, it's not only looking only on the side, on the funding. Advantage with my business, the business structure, the way it's being, is to survive on our own. And we also, because of being the paint manufacturer specifically in Zanini, there are still those up and coming. They also need the raw materials. And we find that these small businesses, it's expensive for them to buy the raw materials here. So it's another component on my side to sell, package it on a very small package, but it's another stream of, getting more income as my business. Hence, I'm saying the business structure is not only focusing on the grant funding, but also to be able to sustain myself moving forward.
Thank you. I like that.
Thank you, Cate. Your pitch was perfectly timed. 2 questions, and I sense a disconnect between what your financials show and what you're saying. And maybe picking up on Monique's question, you talk around unemployment, but around your salaries line, it is standard, and the amount that you have there does not speak to the people that you want to employ. And then secondly, you position yourself as a company that has in-house expertise and in-house chemical engineers, etc. And again, that doesn't relate to your salary line. So I'm not sure, are you getting services for free? Are people willing to work for free? And then how does that address your desire to positively address the unemployment crisis?
I need to go back to my financials. Honestly speaking, there is inconsistency, and I take that, I blame myself, because of when I do the spreadsheet, it was mainly to cut and paste from my financials. It's not the reflection of what my current business is doing. And hence I've said, it also opened my eyes that we tend to rely too much on our accountants, not doing the actual figures as the owner of the business. So the figures on the spreadsheet is not the real reflection of what the salary structure of my staff stands on. I am prepared to say currently my salary stands at about plus minus 60,000 rand a month.
Are none of your competitors SABS approved?
They are SABS approved. However, that area that I'm in, most of my competitors are not SABS approved.
Okay,
Yes.
so you're not talking about the big brands, you're talking about the local brands.
The local brand, yes. And all I can say, most of the big brands, they are also not SABS approved. On my side, it was a bottleneck. I had no choice because of, they'll say we need SANS standard, or according to a certain brand standard that you will need, especially when it comes to property developers.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say the architect spec says we need the SANS standard of this. So I had no choice but to make sure that I go through that process and be able to get my product being tested in order to access that kind of a market.
You spoke about 2 branches, that you were 2 branches, and you speak about property developers. Are you going retail? In other words, people coming off the street and buying a drum of paint or 10, or are you going directly to the developers and just using the property developers and using your retail store as almost a depot? And if it's both, what is the percentage between the 2?
Okay, it is both, because I've tried let me go back with the contractors. With the contractors market, it's not guaranteed and it's not sustainable, because of it's only project per project, and when the project ends, you start that, I still need to start again and start to market. But with the retail, mainly it was to have my own, in order when I've got a branch in a certain areas, it becomes easier, and even that marketing more into brand awareness for my customers out there. And it was more easier, not easier per se, but for me, distributing my products via other wholesalers or retailers, it didn't suit me. It didn't suit my GP. It didn't suit, my net profit. It was way, way too little, to a point that I had to change the strategy. Said the strategy that is going to work on my side is to have my own branches. And so far, with the second branch that I've opened in Thohoyandou, it proved that it can work. And yes, and I think with this third branch as well, it was because of seeing the new developments that are coming. And I said, you know what, let me tap in this. And already I've got a market base there.
Okay, Cate, I think we've got enough. Thank you for your pitch today. You may leave.
Thank you.
Flo, thoughts?
Her main issue is around how she creates employment and how she pays those salaries. So to have started her pitch on what she knew was not going to be truthful and could not be carried as a connecting theme throughout. I don't know if it was disingenuous or perhaps ill-informed, but that was a problem for me. Because potentially this can address unemployment, but they've not relied on revenue generation and sales to address that issue rather than what grants are available and where you can hire cheap labor and pay them that way. So that's a bit of a concern for me.
Your thoughts?
I agree with you. It is a lot of, when the grant funding dries up, how is this business actually going to sustain itself? Because it's not, from a revenue perspective, what she says and what is actually on the cards is not aligned.
What did you think of the fact that, I mean, her pitch has changed a lot.
It has.
You know, I encourage changing the pitch. I encourage learning. But I felt that wasn't the pitch. I think she changed it based on our discussion
Earlier discussions.
with her around her financials. I think she came out different to what she had probably practiced. That's my sense. I don't know it to be true. What do you?
And I've also found that I think that with the pitch change, and I agree with you, a pitch must change, it must improve. But what we're seeing a lot of in this competition, or at this stage, is that the nuggets that got you here is not the nuggets that you're carrying forward anymore. You're dropping it on the assumption that the judges remember it. And if you look at it from, this is a purely new crowd that I'm pitching to, do they understand those nuggets that I had initially raised?
And then also
But
your
it's also the
fundamentals. You're not
Yes.
too sure about your fundamentals, and depending on the question, there seems to be an inconsistency in the response.
Yeah.
The issue around the salaries, the responses were different in the earlier discussion and now.
On a positive side, I did enjoy the integrity in her saying
Accountability?
she took accountability.
She owned it.
She owned it. Yeah.
It was very powerful.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of this competition as well. And that's the uniqueness of this competition, is that it's not just the glitz and the glamour, that there is learning. The entrepreneur is walking away and saying, I've actually learned that I need to focus on my finances. I need to understand my finances. It's not something they want to do necessarily.
And that at this point, it drives you really to be so introspective, because you didn't find that initially, right? And the secondary process, us going through the financials, really delving deeply into the individual and the company, actually has allowed us to pick up so much that I think we've made them question, their plan, their strategy, hence the change as we went along.
Well, speaking about the numbers, let's get to our numbers. Let's get scoring.
You look absolutely exquisite for your third pitch. How did it go, semi-finalist?
I'm so happy.
Oh.
It's a blessing. I don't know. It's getting tougher. It's tough as it is. But I'm happy, Chloe.
Jonga, your pitch was like on the mark, hopefully on the money, but it was on the mark.
Yes, at least I managed to make sure that with the timing I'm there. The right time, and I was just not happy. I wanted to know more time, more questions, but I'm happy so far.
How are things going with your guide?
Sure. I don't know, my guide, I'm where I am today because of fear. Now, yes, but I'm so happy.
What's her name?
Maligay.
You looked the part, but Judge Monique said you just weren't yourself. Your pitch was time perfect, but that spark, that energy, that confidence, that security of the Cate Oliphant we all have grown to love and know. Talk to us about that.
To be honest, I think it's the pressure.
Yeah.
It's getting, hotter now. It's like I can feel it. It's not easy. All the contestants deserve it. So now it's, the last days. So I don't know. We all deserve it. Hence I'm saying I'm a winner. They're also winners. So it's up to the judges, and I just did my part. And honestly speaking, yes, I was nervous. And at the same time, I was not myself. I was not out there. But with my guide, he said, you know what, you've got this. You can do this.
Onwards and upwards.
Thank you.
Cate chose to open with something bigger than her product, the issue of unemployment, and how her business helps solve it through skills training. It was heartfelt, it was purposeful, but was it the right focus for this critical round? We'll have to wait and see how it lands with the judges. Next up, Vanessa from Vez Technology. Take it away, Vanessa.
Hello, judges.
Hi, Vanessa. What have you got there?
So this is following my previous round. I promised that there's method in my madness, and this is the proof that what our toilet paper does inside the pipes is basically liquefy all the incrustations that build up inside the pipes. So if I may, can I bring it closer?
I don't think we want that.
No.
We can see it.
It's going to spill.
We can see it from here very well. Can you see?
Oh, perfectly fine, thank you.
All right, so explain.
So this is basically what the raw bacteria that we are adding to the toilet paper is what we've added to the one test tube, where you can see the visible difference of our toilet paper or our bacteria basically going and eating away and dissolving all the build-up and organic waste inside the pipes, compared to just normal toilet paper where it stays clogged on the inside of the pipe, if I can say.
Okay. We see very well. Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch and polish.
Hi everyone, I'm Vanessa from Vestec, and we manufacture bioactive toilet paper, soon to be South Africa's first Green Tag certified toilet paper. Infused with a unique patented blend of beneficial bacteria, it breaks down the organic waste inside the pipe, resulting in less pathogens, less blockages, and less bad odors. Our team's over 30 years combined contract cleaning experience led to the growing demand, made us see the growing demand for green cleaning in the facilities management arena. And although the market is flooded with eco-friendly cleaning chemicals, there's still not yet an eco-friendly certified toilet paper in South Africa, until now. Judges, we're not filling a gap, we're creating a category. Our B2B journey started with Air Liquid, and we've just dispatched our first pilot order to all the Hitachi branches in South Africa, 19 of them. Once Green Tag certification is approved, we plan to target all the Green Star buildings in South Africa, obviously starting with the Green Bank right in front of us. In the meantime, we're winning over eco-conscious consumers, especially septic tank owners, via macro online. What sets us apart from our competition is that our toilet paper directly contributes to Green Star building points. It improves wastewater quality and reduces plumbing maintenance, and we're the sole distributors and we have exclusive rights for the patent in SADC. Winning the 650,000 will allow us to spend 27% on building our brand in South Africa via social media and our website, 23% on B2B marketing, 11% on packaging, and 38% on 2 new pieces of equipment. Our revenue last year amounted to 3 million, of which bioactive toilet paper sales contributed 18%. In this quarter alone, that number has grown to 44%.
Vanessa, your nerves came in there.
Just gets worse every round.
All right, let's start with you, Monique.
Yeah, just adding to the, does it look, can we see it clearly, very clearly? Just before you came on set, we were talking about back in the days when you had baby showers and they would put lunch bars into pie nut. So the more I look at those test tubes, I'm hoping that's what's in there. Tell me, so your growth has been phenomenal. What has been your biggest blocker in accessing facility managers in the corporates that you want to attend?
Did you use the word blocker on purpose?
I did.
So in the facilities management arena, the facility cleaning, if I can call it that, is normally outsourced to a facility management company. And those people, and toilet paper is part of the commodity that they supply an all-inclusive service. So that has been a really big challenge for us, is trying to convince the facility management company to buy a toilet paper that comes obviously at a slightly price premium because of the added benefits. So that's why we've gone for the green tag certification route, so that we can get, the sustainability manager and the asset manager putting pressure on the facility managers to adopt to more greener technologies, because at the end of the day, the asset owner then scores the green building points.
And going via the cleaning companies is not an option for you?
Toilet paper price is king. In the toilet paper industry, the price is king. And obviously, plumbing is not always included in there as part of their service contract. So they don't really care about the added advantages of using an eco-friendly toilet paper.
Okay, thank you.
Vanessa, your passion is palpable. As much as I wouldn't like to look at those test tubes, really we can see the passion and your understanding of your product and what it seeks to do. So what is your role? Is this your entity? And two, how transformative will this investment be in the business? Because you spoke about your biggest challenges, which are not financial. So how transformative will the investment be? And will you first need to address those other issues to start to change mindsets in the market before you can start to upscale your business?
Okay, so to get to your first question, I came up with the idea and I found the technology. We decided to localize it. I sought a suitable investor, and she is also our shareholder. We actually come from the contract cleaning days. The whole management team has just came over to Vez, basically. Then, sorry, your second part of your question was?
Around how catalytic will the investment be? Because when you spoke
If you
about...
win.
If you win.
Oh, if we win, it would be great. Number one, the exposure. Number two, we'd also be able to access, we're competing against giants, and we need to be able to create a credible brand, and that unfortunately costs money. That is the one thing it's not a core competency that we have in-house. And to create a brand that resonates what we're really trying to put out with the product, it's going to cost a lot of money, and that is what we need. It's not impossible to do it without the funding, but with the funding, it would just speed up the process. Based on our current financial projections, we're only breaking even in June next year, 2026, breaking even. That's still another year of operating at a loss. And we're prepared to take that on because we believe in our product, and we know there's a market for it. And we know we'll be the first ones to get to that market. And I think I'm babbling now and I forgot the question.
No, I think you answered it. I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Thanks, Vanessa.
Yeah, Vanessa, who's the decision maker? I know you spoke when you were speaking earlier to Monique about how the process works in terms of the pressure from the top down. But who actually makes the decision? Is it the facilities manager? Who's making the decision what brand to buy?
It would be the facility manager, because what we have found is in the past is when they tender for a cleaning contract, typically, they would already have a supplier in mind and they would go in costing with that same price. So and that's what the big guys have said to us, if we now deviate from that, it's going to cause a ripple effect on everything. So the decision maker would typically be the facility manager. But what we're trying to adopt is to get the asset owner to adjust the contract to say, look, if you want this cleaning contract, make use of an eco-friendly product because that helps with our green star points. There are green tag certified cleaning chemicals. So my opinion is if they can do it with the cleaning chemicals, they can do it with the toilet paper.
And just one last question around competition. I'm talking in the bio space. I'm not talking about necessarily ones that if unblock the pipes, but the bio category. Is that not just enough for that facility manager to say, well, these guys are bio-friendly because they use recycled material, and I've ticked the the box. You following what I'm saying?
Yes. So typically, and we've been in this space, the asset owner or the contract manager would insist, please, no recycled toilet paper. We don't care how eco-friendly it is, because at the end of the day, a recycled paper is known, it's a bit more heavier on the plumbing, and it is known to cause blockages because of the dissolvability issues that come hand in hand with when you use recycled toilet paper. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I've answered your question. So they would typically, the contract owner would stipulate, look, we want a 1-ply or a 2-ply toilet paper. It must be SABS compliant or approved. Or they would say, please, it needs to be virgin toilet paper.
Okay. Vanessa, I think we've had enough. Thanks for your pitch. You may leave.
Thank you.
Right. So what were your thoughts, Moni?
She was definitely more nervous this round, as were all the contestants. I think, to your point, Flo, it's definitely that time of the season now where nerves are at play, and I think it's important that they stick to their fundamentals, as it were. I still think it's a brilliant product. I think that she needs to look at a different way to access this market now. We can't get hung up on the facility managers. She's either got to go via the CSI team, or she's got to go to the eco-friendly cleaning companies, but she's got to find a different way to actually access this market. Otherwise, unfortunately, the product is going to stagnate. But
I think you've hit the nail on the head, and that was my question. What difference will the money make were she to win it? And I think because they're eco-friendly, they've got to take the sustainability area, right? Every company today has a sustainability drive or an ESG goal. And if you make it a compliance issue, every single building in our organization has to use this product. So there's no issue about cost, etc. It is a moral compliance. It contributes to the climate change debate, etc. And it's the right thing to do. Because at the end of the day, facilities management, it's all about cost. They don't care about doing the right thing. So I think they need to change the mindset and the perspective and their pitch. And it needs to speak to the sustainability element of an organization.
Yeah. You know, I read something recently which says that you're either a vitamin or you're a painkiller. Right? Quite profound, right? Now, let me explain. So a vitamin is a preventative thing. And a painkiller is when you got the pain. And successful businesses are generally painkillers, okay, metaphorically speaking, right? This is a vitamin.
It is.
Because it's not, at the time you're building your building, your pipes aren't blocked, you haven't experienced the problem. It's only when you have the problem, the headache, so to speak, or the pain, that you need the painkiller. And then you might think of this. And so that's the big challenge at a philosophical level that we've got here, is that it's a preventative measure. It's good. So the only route for this is at a, let's call it at a moral level, another philosophical level, which is the green sustainability. It's the only way through, because people aren't going to do it. I don't see the average person thinking about, well, I mean, if we're going there, we haven't had at my home in 10 years a blocked drain. We haven't. Yeah, so it's not like it happens every 2 weeks. I have appliances that break all the time, but I don't have blocked drains all the time. So I
Not
don't
top of
know.
mind.
I don't know if there's a big problem we are solving other than the world, which is a big problem, and therefore we have to go that route. But the route we have to go now is to score. So let's go do that.
Vanessa, it's me. It's me. Relax. It's
I'm
me.
grateful for
I'm
this
yours.
round.
I know. Whew. Semi-finals. How was your pitch?
I think, if I'm honest, that was probably the worst pitch of my life. The nerves just totally got the better of me in there. And it was horrible, but I did my best.
That's all we can do. That's all we can do. How do you find the judges' questions tough? Or your tongue was all over, it was tough and tight?
It was a long day. My tongue was all over the place.
Yeah.
And, it's just, you can see that carrot dangling and you want it so bad.
I know.
And then the nerves just get the better of you.
But let's focus on the good. Let's focus on the good. What has been a great insight in your journey so far on Nedbank Pitch Polish 2025?
Oh, where do I start? Everything has just been amazing.
Yeah.
The guiding sessions,
Yeah.
the workshops that we attended with Yaz.
Yeah.
We've learned so much. Our whole strategic direction of our company has just pivoted into a completely
Wow.
beautiful direction, but we love it.
Wow.
We're excited for the future.
Wow. And your biggest dream right now is to be number
1.
Yes! From your lips to God's ears.
Let's hope.
Yeah, I think her pitch was smart, sharp, and showed real evolution. But as Alon noted, most successful businesses are painkillers. They solve an urgent, painful problem. Vanessa's product? It's a vitamin, a preventative measure. Will that affect her scores tonight? Let me see if I can suss out the feeling of the judges for us. It's the semi-finals. The energy has shifted. The energy has changed. Hello, judges.
Hello.
Welcome back, Judge Flo. We missed you.
Missed you too.
Hello,
Thank
Judge
you.
Alon.
Hello.
Hello, Judge Monique.
Hello.
So this is the third pitch of each entrepreneur that you're seeing. Have they polished their pitches this time round? Judge Monique.
They definitely have polished their pitches.
Yes.
It's a pity that sometimes they lose the nuggets that got them through to this round.
Yeah.
And it's a pity that the nerves start to set in at this point in time.
As I said, the energy has shifted and we could feel the heat inside the butterflies that
Yeah.
was affecting their pitches. Have their pitches improved, Judge Alon?
I'd say some have,
Yeah.
but on the whole, I think they've actually gone backward. Yeah. So,
Wow.
some have not. Some have gone really backward.
So let's start with Blessing, Baker's Creations. Judge Flo, you were admiring his resilience. His pitch was not too bad, but you questioned his funding and growth. Why?
The investment would be intended to enable him to upscale what he's currently doing.
Yeah.
But if he's operating at 50% capacity with what he currently has, because he's got new ovens, etc., why would he need to bring more ovens, which probably would stand? Because he has changed his shift pattern, so people are not working full time. So I'm not sure if he really requires the investment that Pitch and Polish can bring at this point in the life cycle of his organization.
Hence to your question, Judge Alon, would his business operate at max capacity if he won the prize? Can you elaborate that for us, please?
Yeah, what I'm also going down the same path, trying to understand that 50% discussion,
Yeah.
is to say that if you're at 50% and you add more capacity, why? What's it going to do? The same thing that Judge Flo said. And for me, it could be the accumulation of another asset,
Yes.
a vehicle, etc.
Yes.
And what I've seen very often with entrepreneurs is that they become professional competition followers. They accumulate now. Let's say they accumulate the vehicle, and let's assume that he doesn't sell it, but now the car needs to be serviced. It needs another driver. It needs to be licensed. The other machine needs to be installed. It needs to be insured, as does the vehicle. And so you bring in these assets, but the assets cost you to maintain and to operate. And now you've got a cost associated with a business that hasn't fulfilled already the demand potential that is there already. So it doesn't make sense, and it's dangerous.
Let's move on to Prudence, the kitchen wrap company. I'm going to stick with you here, Judge Alon. First pitch, we literally saw the kitchen wrap. Third pitch, we're seeing products, we're seeing apps. A lot had changed. What did you think of that? You had something to say about that, very clearly.
I didn't think much of it.
I know.
I understand it. I see it often.
Yeah.
I understand that there was always a need to evolve, but to what detriment is the question, to what lack of focus. And in a pitching competition, if you confuse your audience, we're investors, and you can say we do this and we do that and we do this and that, and we're going to be doing that, then what do? And so for me, that was a very detrimental thing to do. Whether she did it or not, in this pitch, strategically, she made the mistake of actually introducing a whole bunch more.
Yes.
Perhaps one thing more,
Yes.
but certainly not another 3 things into the pitch.
Judge Flo, I'm going to hit you up with another question because we missed you so much. So Prudence told us that she imports from Asia, and you asked her, why not keep it local, girl? Tell us more about that.
I think the concern, Hlubi, was around, one, the cost of imports, which we picked up in the financials, and then also the time taken for those products to arrive here, which could have an impact on her ability to deliver on time. But I think, fortunately, in the due diligence process, we had picked up that she secured a supplier where she could get it cheaper, faster, and land it more easily. So I think she had already thought that through in her own way.
Moving on to Akani Paints and Judge Monique, you said that Cate, she had her current grant funding for the business. And if that funding had to dry up, would she survive? Why did you ask that? Would the business survive?
Again, I think an extension to the due diligence that Judge Flo has referred to. It's clear that that is what's driving the financials of that company at the moment. And, you know, when the funding does dry up, as it does, when you're part of these programs and incubators or competitions, as it were, the product itself needs to sell itself. Okay. And that's not what we're picking up in the financials of that company.
Judge Alon, her differentiator, she stated herself that she is SABS approved and registered. Why did you ask that?
Well, because she mentioned that as a USP, unique selling proposition. So I didn't believe it, to be honest, that not that she wasn't SABS approved, but that she was the only one.
Correct.
And so the way that she stylized her answer was to say that I'm the only SABS approved, to which I asked, well, surely all the big brands are also. And then she changed her tune to say, well, it's the other locals, and maybe some of the big name brands are not. So I don't honestly think that it was a unique USP. I think it's a ticket to the game. You can't sell paint unless you've got that kind of approval. And she's using a ticket to the game as a USP, which is the wrong thing to do.
Final business owner, Vanessa Snyman. Back to you, Judge Flo. You loved her passion. But how transformative would the Nedbank Pitch and Polish investment be to her business and for her business? You asked that question.
I think it would be premature. I think there's still some work that needs to be done. Okay. And I think, look, in fairness, we have to say that, as you said, Hlubi, people's nerves are rattled. And people struggle to formulate their answers because, I don't know, there's just a deeper sense of nervousness. And maybe it's because of the due diligence we did, where we really dug into, one, the entrepreneur, and two, their product. So I think she would just have to think more deeply around creating a need for the market. And creating a need for her product, rather. And that may not necessarily be facilities management, but maybe at a broader sustainability an ESG perspective. So I think there may be just a bit of a need for thought around that.
Kind of carrying on with this question, Judge Alon, you asked her who makes the decision of what brand to buy when it comes to Vanessa's name, and why did you ask that? And you were specific about really clarifying within the bio industry or the biosphere.
Yeah, I think entrepreneurs, when they are producing a product, need to understand where the decision is made. Often there is the user of a product is not the person who makes the decision. As an example, the user of a nappy is the baby. They don't make the decision of which brand to use.
Correct.
It's the parents that do, and more
Correct.
specifically probably the mother.
Correct.
And so you don't aim the product at the user, you aim the product at who makes the decision. And what I was trying to understand there is who in that industry makes the decision, and where we landed was the person who makes the decision, is he or she incentivized in any way through some pain point, price point, for any reason to actually make that decision at that point. And it came across to me that the person who makes the decision has got no incentive to choose their product.
Thank you so much, judges. My heart can't take this. You just saw 4 entrepreneurs. Next up, 2 businesses stay, 2 businesses go. Can your heart take it? Let's see.
Hello, contestants.
Hello.
This is always the worst part of the show. 2 of you will be staying, 2 of you will be going. Hopefully all of you have learned something. Hopefully all of you have reflected on all the feedback that you've received. So whether you stay or go, you've already hopefully gained a huge amount of knowledge, confidence, exposure, friends, new experiences. It's been very interesting watching this round because this round was particularly bad from a confidence perspective. We saw giants crumble in front of us, absolutely crumble. People who were, so slick before, stutter over their words, and we've seen in the past one of the contenders to win actually in this round just tripped over their words, and there was no ways they could go forward. Will that happen this time? Who knows? All right, let's start from my right. Let's start with you, Blessing. Your pitch was good. It was a good pitch. You spoke about your authority to be in the industry. You spoke about your certification that gave me confidence in you as an entrepreneur. Your financials were strong, and when we met with you in the room earlier to go through your financials, we got a good sense that you understood your financials. You produced a new pitch, so you listened. You did keep the nuggets from the last pitch. You did bring them through, and it was a very good pitch. And what was very important is that the impact of those financials, in other words, if you got the money, you spoke about what that would do for your business. But on the other hand, on the negative side, you saw how we battled to understand, well, if you had 50% capacity, so what do you need our money for? We're investors. You had 50% capacity. You spoke about in the first pitch, in the first round, you spoke about how much demand there was. You've got all this demand from all over. You won Pick and Pay this and, Spar that, and you've got all this demand, and yet you're still at 50%. And so I know that was about efficiency, but surely you make the efficiency, but you go and get the sales. So what are we doing investing in you? Your USP didn't come across, and for me, you're a commodity to a large extent. And so the whole idea, you did touch on the fact that you need to brand, but your USP needs to come out more. And I think I think if you do get through to the next round, or if you don't, or if you go back to in under, I think you've got to think about your USP and your brand a lot. Then the big question was around what would you do without all the enterprise and supply development, the ESD funding? Would you still be here? If that was pulled from you in terms of loans and grants, etc., I know it's there to do a job, but you know, what happens if that went away? Would you be commercial? And that didn't come across strong enough. So the decision we've made, Blessing, based on this pitch and everything that I've said, is that you will be staying. You go through to the final. All right, who's next? It's Cate. Cate, your timing was impeccable. I think you were like, I think as you said, your last letter, the bell rang. Your timing was impeccable. And what came across was your honesty. I think there was a huge amount of integrity that came across in your pitch. I think based on the feedback that you got in the session where we spoke about your finances, I think, and the discussion at the dinner with myself was that the finances are important, and I think you've owned it. And that's a very, very important thing for an entrepreneur, to own their situation and not blame. And you owned it, and it gives a huge amount of confidence in you as an individual and as an entrepreneur. But on the negative side, it was really a worse pitch than last time. It felt like you were just floating and were looking. It felt like you forgot. I think in the comment that I made to the other judges was, it felt like you had a pitch before, but you said something else, you know, in those 3 minutes, and you couldn't wait. It felt like you couldn't wait to get out of here. That's what it felt. Your financials tripped you up terribly in that space. But once again, you answered that honestly, and I think there's a big lesson. And the big question I think you have to answer right now is that whether you are a training company or a paint company, where you train people on the paint industry and get your money from the seaters and call it like it is, and that's who you are, and you're good at that, and you're good at sourcing that funding, and you're good at training, providing the environment, and that's the business you're in, or are you a paint business? But I don't think you can be both. And this is not a social entrepreneurship program. This is an entrepreneurship program. This is about the commercials. And it feels like your heart is a social entrepreneur. Well, that's how you've designed your business. Cate, you will not be going through to the next round. I'm very sorry, but you need to leave. Thank you for being on the show. All right, now we go to Vanessa. All right, Vanessa, I loved that statement that you made. We are creating a category. You know, that's a very powerful statement, and somebody who's appreciates the boldness of building out a category in an industry. It's an incredibly difficult thing to do, and it's a bold move to do. We felt your pitch was a great pitch, except when it wasn't. Okay, and we were quite shocked because you've been like really, really good the whole time, and yeah, the content of the pitch, and then it's sort of you forgot all the words, and I understand the pressure is there. Your USP is there. I like the fact that you talk about your unique selling proposition, but as I mentioned before, you know, so what? It might not be pertinent for the person who's making the decision. It might just be price. So have you matched your USP with the buyer? I think that's the question that you have to ask yourself. And then you keep saying we compete against giants. Now, think about it from our perspective. We are investors. We've got pockets. I know the lady on my left here has got lots of deep pockets, lots of money. But we two mortals here, we don't have so much money, right? So we're thinking about it from an investment perspective and saying, well, do I want to come and join you on your fight to fight giants? To me, a better way to do that is say, we've got a niche, because then you speak from a place of strength than coming from a place of weakness, right? And I think that was a big mistake in your strategy, was to own the niche, okay, and say we will dominate in the niche instead of focusing on the giants, okay? And so you make us very nervous as an investor. Prudence, non-invasive. I love the idea of I don't know if you made that up, but I love the concept. It's like a nice way to describe what you do. Those guys are quite invasive when they come in to make lots of dust and lots of noise, stay there for too long. We don't. It felt like you were surgical. You create the great visual for me by what you do. You go in, you're non-invasive, you leave, and it looks before and after, it's magnificent, and it's really inexpensive. You created a brand new pitch, which was brilliant. I love the fact that you evolved. You know your numbers backwards. When we grilled you in that room, boy, did you impress us. You knew your numbers backwards. And when we challenged you, we could not wobble you. We could not wobble you there, but we did wobble you outside here. You got wobbled outside here. I love the fact that you're opportunistic, but I also don't like the fact that you're opportunistic, because when you're opportunistic, that means you're not strategic. And you have to find the nexus between being opportunistic and strategic. You have a very dangerous syndrome. It's called new shiny things syndrome. And when you listen to your customer too much, they will tell you that actually, could you get me knives and forks as well? And then you're going to see there's another little room. What are you doing there? Knives and forks, because my customers say they need knives and forks for their kitchen. And eventually they'll say, well, can you supply me with milk and bread every day? And you see where it can go. When you're strategic, you say, this is what I want to build out. And I'm not saying the other things are wrong, but maybe your timing is wrong. So as an investor, I'm terribly scared to invest in somebody who's got the new shiny things syndrome. I don't think you understand your competition really well. I don't get that sense. I think you're underestimating either the level of competition now or what it will be. And from a timing perspective on your pitch was at the quality of your pitch, even though it was different, you stumbled all over that. Both of you had exactly the same pressure on you. You were two very confident people in the last round, and we didn't see that come through now. So which one of you is going through? Is it Prudence or is it Vanessa? Is it Prudence or is it Vanessa? The person going home today, unfortunately, is Vanessa. Vanessa, thank you. I hope you've learned something, and we hope to see great things from you. You may leave. Right, so the two of you, by the skin of your teeth, are in. I hope you've listened. I hope you're taking all this information into the next round. So before you go, you know that in Nedbank Pitch and Polish, we have a wild card. And boy, do you have a big contender for the final. Let's take a look.
We are Algo at Work, South Africa's launchpad to a future of unlimited possibility. Algo at Work was founded in 2019 in Richards Bay, KZN, by two young boys who were failed by the system. Instead of waiting for change, well, we decided we become change. Today, Algo at Work is the country's leading 4IR training hub, offering hands-on education in robotics, artificial intelligence, and Internet of Things. We develop problem solvers, engineers, and future employers. We operate across 5 provinces so far: KZN, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Northwest, as well as the Gauteng province. I'll Go at Work collaborates with private as well as public institutions such as MTN Foundation, BMW, SMG, Chemical Industries Education and Training Authority, MICTC, Region Business to bridge the digital divide by giving young South Africans access to tools and training they need to thrive in this digital era.
All right, so that's your competition. Prudence and Blessing meet your competition. You may shake hands. And it's all friendly now, but will it be in the next round? Thank you for your pitches today. Thank you to the two of you for coming up from wherever you came up from. And we'll see you in the next round. You may leave.
Thank you.
The judges had a tough decision to make here tonight. Congratulations to Blessing and Prudence, and a sad farewell to Vanessa and Cate. While their time on the show ends here, they're not walking away empty-handed. They leave with more experience, invaluable learning, and a powerful and supportive entrepreneurial community behind them. Speaking of entrepreneurial community, hey, we haven't forgotten about you watching from the couch. It's time to reward you, our home viewing hustlers, with a chance to win our viewer competition. Let's test your recall. You've just watched 2 pitches, and if you answered tonight's question correctly, you could be enjoying a 5,000 Rand spending spree at Avo Supershop. Here's the question. Did Alon refer to Vanessa's business as a painkiller or a vitamin? Did Alon refer to Vanessa's business as a painkiller or vitamin? So if you know the correct answer, send it along with your name to 071-802-6981 before midnight. All the correct answers will go into a random draw and we'll notify our winner and give them a social media shout out later this week. That wraps up tonight's show. Next week, for the contestants, it all comes down to one final pitch. 3 finalists, 1 winner, and a prize with 1 million Rand. Join us for the grand finale of Nedbank Pitch Polish 2025. It's going to be epic. From me, Khubimboy, and the entire team, keep chasing those big business dreams. Good night. Mwah!
I feel gutted, really disappointed. I tried my best. But yeah, the competition was stiff, and I do think that the 2 deserved candidates went through.
The message that I want to say out there, especially to my family and my employees, guys, we did it. Irrespective that we didn't get the money that we needed for the business, but thank you for the support, and the journey still continues.
Tendai, you're an absolute rock star. I said it from the beginning. Thank you so much for all your help with my financials. I finally know where I want to go, what my GP is, and I actually know what EBITDA means. Thank you.